chat. My bad. I'll set it on my PC, but we good now. I'm just gonna get some coffee. I'll be back in like 2 minutes, yo. 2 minutes. Give me a second.
Shit I never had now, I can brag now. Got my bitch a Louis bag now, she can brag now. But my bitch a Birkin bag now, she a brag now. Now I'm sitting in a club in a different bag now. Baby, when I pick it up, you gon' put that ass down. Tell him you don't give a fuck, baby, spin that ass round. Tell a DJ turn it up, what the fuck is that sound? Ayy, boogie with the hoodie and it's always foreign. Yeah, I know she like my style, them other niggas boring. When I pull up big ol' skirt, that's a foreign. When I pull up on a red light, they don't want it. Yeah, I came up from the mud and my baby know that. Introduced her to my blog, now she thinks she all that. When I first hit her up, no, she never rolled back. Then I saw her at the club, so I got up on that. Now every time they play this song, she say this is my shit, my shit. See the flick on my wrist, and I know she know what's up, baby, this is my shit, my shit. See the flick on my wrist, they know that's my bitch, that's a fact. And she stalk with me when you in my section. Fill it up when my club empty, I can't fuck with rats. That's a fact, that's a dog, nigga, all about my F. Can't put water over blood, nigga, trust me, it get ugly. If I wasn't getting money, would you still want me? If I told you I was broke, would you start acting funny? This is all I ever wanted, you can't take it from me. Now every time they play this song, she say this is my shit, my shit. See the flick on my wrist, and I know she know what's up, baby, this is my shit, my shit. See the flick on my wrist,
When you wrist like this, you don't check the forecast, every day it's gon' rain. Yeah, made a brick do a brick, I ain't whip up shit, this pure cocaine. Yeah, from the streets, but I got a little sense, but I had to go coop no brain. I ain't worried about you, I'ma do what I do, and I do my thing. Bought a brand new shoe, told her, kick rocks, don't stand too close, diamonds. Kickbox ain't red, mean gold, so I don't stop. I know they can catch me, but keep wishing. You think I done turn into a fiend for these bitches, tryna stuff as much as I can, and these bitches.
All right, yo, what's up, chat? My fault, bro. Bro, I'm dumb, bro. For some reason, yesterday when I did a test stream, I thought that was gonna be enough for me to stream the next day, but I realized that was a Warzone stream, so all the overlays are all fucked up, so I had to resize everything. So yeah, bro, my fault. Cause I'm streaming on I'm not on 1080p no more. I'm on 1440p. Right, chat? How's the stream looking right now? Is it looking good? Hold on, let me see. It's Donvu. IDV. Is it like better 1440p now, right? Is it good to stream on 1440p or nah? I guess we'll see when I stream. Can we see the wicks now? I don't think so. I don't know, bro. Let's see.
The career's more at stake when you in your prime. Fuck that paper, baby, my face on the dotted line.
I've been flying out of town for some peace of mind. It's like always, they just want a peace of mind. I've been focused on the future, never on right now.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
But I'm sipping that kombucha, either pink or brown. I'm the one that introduced you to the you right now. Oh my God.
I don't know what to do. Hold on. There you go. Yo, chat, how's it look? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Because, like, yeah, let me know. It's small, right? It's probably better, but the wicks are still a problem. Wicks are actually fixed, kind of, but it's not. It's 1440 piece. I don't think that matters. Like, my monitor is small. I'm using a small monitor right now to stream. I'm using a 27-inch because this is the monitor I use the game on my second PC. So basically, here's how it works, chat. So I got two PCs, right? I have a PC for streaming and a PC for gaming. The streaming PC or gaming slash, you know, like whatever, my game PC, just call it as my actual real PC that I'm using. All right. So this way, when I stream, it goes from my streaming PC and it collects the image from my gaming PC. So this monitor that I'm using, the 27-inch, right? So basically, I have a capture card. It captures this screen onto the stream PC. Therefore, when I do game, if I do game and stream, I won't lose frames on the stream because I have a completely separate PC for streaming and I have a game PC. Make sense? So yeah, it was just mad confusing because the audio and everything, I have to go XLR, got to connect this to that, It's just mad confusing, but I think it's good though so far. Like, I don't think I see any problems. You guys notice anything different or nah? Like, how's the stream looking here? Let me pull it up on this monitor. I do miss my monitor though. My 4K monitor. This shit is crisp. PC that I'm using. Alright, so this way, when I chat, is the mic fucked? Am I tripping? Is the mic fucked? Am I tripping? It's fucked. Hold on. Mic is fine? No echo? Okay, maybe it's just my end because when I watch the replay, it just sounds fucked. Okay, cool. Is the mic cool? Is the mic cool? The game on my second PC. So basically, I'm trying to figure out how to. No. Because from my end, I hear myself twice. Here's how it works, chat. So I play music. What happens?
For some peace of mind, it's like all.
Okay. Line out, line in. System. So I got two PCs, right? I have a PC for streaming and a PC for gaming. The streaming PC or gaming slash, you know, like whatever, my game PC, just call it as my actual real PC that I'm using. All right. So this way, when I stream, it goes from my streaming PC and it collects the image from my gaming PC. So this monitor that I'm using, the 27-inch, right? So basically, I have a capture card. It captures this screen onto the stream PC. Fuck it. You guys don't hear that? It's just my end then. I hear that. Okay, it's cool. Anyways, chat. Welcome to what day is it today? It's Sunday. Welcome to Sunday, chat. It is today. We're doing a webinar as we would do every single week. Now let me just go ahead and adjust this real quick down here. Just the stream record. I gotta make sure this is fixed. All right, there you go. All right. Sick. Anyways, chat, yeah, hope you guys are doing good, bro. Yeah, this is a Sunday webinar, so usually what we do is you need to change the video resolution. The video resolution which is not supported for this configuration. This resolution is 1910. Oh, okay. So you can't stream on. Chat, what does this mean? Fuck, you guys can't see it here. Yo, chat, what does this mean? You need to change the video resolution. The current resolution is 250, 60, 1440p. So I guess my resolution is on 1440. Does this mean YouTube doesn't want me to stream on 1440p? Is that what that means? I gotta change my OBS, right? But that means that like it has to be 1080p then. They didn't want it to be 1440p on YouTube. Okay, cool. Make it 1080. Okay. Okay, yeah, I gotta do it another day then, because I mean the stream's working fine right now. I'll leave it for today, but I'll probably change it back to 1080 tomorrow. Just compress it to using OBS to 1080p. Okay, so how does that work? If I compress it on OBS to 1080p and my monitor is at 1440p, does that mean that I'm streaming at 1080p or 1440p? You know what I mean? To stream in 1080p. Okay, true. No, it's the same camera angle. I'm just facing this way. My monitor's facing this way. The higher the resolution, the higher the resolution gets small for some viewers. Oh yeah, okay. So so 1080p is a universal basically, right? It's like what everyone uses. Leave at 1440. Your streams are usually 1080p. Yeah, they're usually 1080p. I changed it today because I figured it looked a lot nicer because Warzone yesterday looked nice on 1440p. I don't know, bro. Any tech guys? I need to hop on a call with one of you tech guys in the chat if you guys are, if anyone you know. But it's cool for today though. We can just run it like this. I don't think it matters. I don't think YouTube's gonna. I think it's cool, right? Man. Anyways, chat. Guys, what's going on? Let me just play some music here. I'll get started. Yeah, my bad for the delay, bro. I literally thought that I had everything figured out, but I guess not. Should be fixed by tomorrow, though. All right, so let me go and. Yo, go and play. All right, cool. I'm just gonna leave it as that. Anyways, chat. Let's get started here. So yeah, so today's webinar, we're gonna be covering basically just like a lot of beginner stuff, like a lot of beginner friendly stuff. So not too beginner, like it'll still be a bit advanced, but just in terms of like support and resistance, etc. Like from there, I'm not gonna cover up like, I'm not gonna go and cover up like Basis 101, like what is a pip, how do you count pips, stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it's pretty straightforward. And realistically, at this point in my career, I don't even know how to count pips myself, to be honest. If I'm being 100% real with you guys, I forgot all the basics. I am just, you know, that stuff. Like I don't know, bro. It's been a long time since I've went back to that stuff. But yeah. I mean, shit. Chat. We'll get started here. Let me just send my Zoom link and then we should be good. Fuck. I don't have Zoom. I gotta download Zoom on this. Hold on. How's your weekend? It was chill. I spent the last 2 days figuring out like all the settings and shit, but I'm good now. I think it was kind of a headache. It's just like the minor tweaks I gotta make now. Let me just download Zoom real quick. Download Zoom. Hopefully this won't crash my PC. What do you do when you're off the charts? I live life, bro. I live life. I do things that, like, I do things that make me happy, you know? I do things like, I play sports, I hang with my girl. I live a normal life. Just chill. I work a lot off trading. Like I have a business to run, right? So I still work, but it's kind of just like I have a manager now, so things are a lot easier. Everything goes through the manager, then goes through me. So that way I don't gotta like deal with it directly. Unless like it's something like I have to be there for, but usually it's just it goes to my manager and then it goes to me. So therefore like it's pretty chill. I get the final say on everything, and he just runs it by me. And yeah, it's chill, bro. That's it. A lot of things that I gotta do on my phone is just like, you know, just normal stuff, like just messaging people and handling my DMs on Instagram, like emails my manager reads for me, so stuff like that. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But yeah, man, it's just like I'm always working, right? But it's just as an entrepreneur, you're always working, you know. There's no way around it. You can't just like take a break. We have a problem, chat. I don't know my Zoom password here. Hold on. What's my... Nope. My bad, chat. I'm signing to Zoom. There we go. I'm in now. Share screen. Let's share this screen. Zoom works. Okay, I can close off this. Close off this. Let me just make sure my camera's not working for that. Mic, same as system. All right, sick. So, mic check, Zoom. Okay, I'm just gonna guess that Zoom can hear me, but hold Discord here. All right. Why don't we need aim assist today? Well, to be fair, the markets are closed, right? So we don't need aim assist today. Like if we need it, I could make a call real quick to Jerome, but I think we're good, to be honest. Like I don't think we need aim assist today, you know? aim assist and hacks, we can save it for tomorrow because it's quite expensive, chat, to be honest. Like to buy like aim assists and wall hacks and all of that for charts, it's pretty expensive on the charts. Like Jerome be taxing on that, man. So it's just not ideal, you know, to always have like aim assist stuff going on. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's not ideal. Okay, we have a problem. We have a problem. I don't think Zoom can hear me. Let me end Zoom. I think I gotta use Zoom on this. Overlay's messed up. It's cool. It's nothing too bad. Oh, the chat. Yeah, let me change the chat box. That's easy to fix. Oh, and the logo's fucked up too. I figured, yeah. How do I where's the devious logo at? Okay, cool. That's cool. Zoom link. Let me share 4K capture. There you go. All right, sick. That's amazing. All right, now that should work. So I don't gotta change anything. I could go back on this, open up Zoom, and have the link shared on Zoom. Nice, I fixed it. Open up Discord. Invite, copy, Zoom link. All right, there you go. Cool. All right, yo. That should be good now. Okay, we're good. We're good to start now. Perfectly good. Anyways, guys, yeah, so let's see what's going on today. So, or not going on today. Well, yeah, today's for those that, you know, are just tuning in, we are doing what do you call it? A webinar, our usual webinar every weekend, and today we're gonna be covering a lot more stuff on beginners. So a lot of beginner stuff, such as like how to draw point resistance, how to find structure, how to read structure, how to read bias, stuff like that. Stuff that like you guys probably would, or some of you guys would probably wanted to see, especially if you guys are new to the strategy or new to the way I trade. Shout out to you guys who just, you know, who've been watching for a long time, and shout out to you guys who are just coming on board with us over the last couple of weeks to months. So I appreciate all you guys being here. But yeah, I'm gonna go through all that stuff, and then yeah, that's about it. That's the whole stream really. So we're gonna, like, you know, I'm gonna start off, and then as I go on, I'm pretty sure you guys have questions about certain things. So if you have questions, feel free to ask. You know, don't stress about it. Just type in the chat, spam it, whatever it is. I'll come to it. If I don't come to it, then I probably don't want to answer it. But no, it should be pretty chill. So yeah, just feel free to ask questions. It's a webinar. We have less people in here. We have 500 people in here right now. So it's good that, you know, it's less flooded than if there were to be 5K people in here. So I can actually see your message. But yeah, bro. So just go ahead. And yeah, I'm just gonna start off with just understanding bias, to be honest, because I feel like a lot of traders who watch us deal with that. One thing you have to understand about bias is that bias doesn't really matter in terms of like the trades you're taking for a day. You know what I mean? So like just because you're bullish for a day, just because the day bias is bullish for a day, doesn't mean you can't take sells for a day. I've done that multiple times, handful of times, like hundreds and hundreds of times, right? Like on stream, I say it all the time. It's like you can be bullish for a day, but that doesn't stop me from taking sells for a day. I can still take sells, I can still take buys. It comes down to what the structure prints on a small time frame, because just because you're bullish for a day doesn't mean you're just gonna push up, right? You could stick to that idea of having one bias per day and sticking to only that bias. That's cool as well. But you know, we got to evolve, and we left that back in 2021. We don't do that no more. We learn to adapt to the current charts. And the way I see it is that the bias can be bullish for a day, but that doesn't mean we're just gonna continue up for the day. There are still opportunities, or there's still potential chances for us to, for instance, to create structure on a small time frame while the bias is still bullish. So let's say the bias is bullish for a day, cool. And on a small time frame, what you might see is ah, shit. I'm a dumbass. Okay, so Zoom doesn't work through there. Yo, Zoom, I'm gonna end Zoom again, bro. Zoom, not gonna lie to you guys. I'm gonna fix the Zoom tonight. This won't work because it's on my second PC. Okay, I'm gonna open up Zoom here again because I can't draw. My bad. Hold on. Let me just get Zoom up. Yeah, and Zoom audio, you can't hear me through this PC, so it's cool. I just have the Zoom steering up. Yo, Zoom, I'll fix you guys for tomorrow. I just don't want to waste more time here. Anyways, look, so let's say the bias for a day is bullish, right? So for instance, like you're now assuming that this is what's happening for the day. So as this is printing for the day and we're making our way up like this, right? What's happening on a small time frame is you could also just be doing this. So this could be the higher time frame, and then obviously on a smaller time frame. Oh shit, sorry. My bad. Let's say this is the day bias, right? It's bullish. This is the daily candle closure. Like let's say this is like the daily time frame. So let me go ahead and mark this up as the daily time frame. So this is the daily time frame right here. And then let's go mark this up as the let's say the 4 hour time frame, or the 1 hour time frame we could do. All right, so let's say this is like the 1 hour time frame. So over here you have 1 hour time frame. All right, so that's the 1 hour time frame. I'll go ahead and change this up, make it a little yellow. All right, so this is the 1 hour time frame. So let's go ahead and divide this up as well, just so it's a little clearer. All right, cool. There's a line in the middle. All right, so if this is a daily time frame and the bias is bullish for a day, right? What you could be expecting on a small time frame is obviously you're not just gonna push up. It's very rare where you just see price push up like this. I'm sure it happens a lot, but not that often, to be honest, right? Like when do you guys ever see prices push up like this for the whole day for one single bearish candle? I'm sure there's a major catalyst, sure, but typically you see bearish candles in between, right? You'll see at least a doji bearish candle, or like a bearish candle back into the range or something, right? Very rare where you just push up like this. So what that means is that like you have to create structure on the way up, right? So you might see this on a higher time frame. You could be bullish, but then again, on the smaller time frame, what can happen is, let's say this is a 1 hour time frame, you can also just be pushing up, and on your way up, you can be closing bearish, creating structure, right? Because price sometimes will likely need to grab liquidity before it drives in the direction it wants to drive into, because price needs to grab orders to drive up towards the next area of orders, right? So for instance, if you're making your way up like this, right, you might get a candle that looks somewhat like this. So for instance, you're pushing up, all of a sudden you have a bearish candle that comes down, breaks the lows, and then flips bullish, right? There's nothing wrong with taking that pull there, right? But you have to understand, like for instance, my bad, let me just finish the candle off. Like there's nothing wrong with taking this pull here, because this candle at one given point was bearish, right? You were bearish here, and what happened here was you pull back, create a bottom wick, and then you start to flip bullish again, right? But at one point, this was the candle. It was a bearish candle looking somewhat like this. So what that means is that at any given point, yes, price could pull back into the range to grab liquidity to drive up, but that doesn't mean you can't take those sells, right? You can take these sells, especially if looking left. Let's say for instance, like before you had this entire pull here, you had bearish candles going up like this. So let me just finish drawing this. right? Let's say like this is how the structure kind of look like, right? So for instance, like you're bearish at one point and then there's like some type of minor resistance here, cool, right around here, right? So if there's like the resistance formed on a smaller time frame, and on a smaller time frame you close that resistance, which means you're at a level where price it might struggle at, right? You see price come down here for a bottom wick, and on a smaller time frame you might see some type of bearish closure here. You can take the sells down for this bottom wick, but again, you have to understand what part of the cycle you're in. You can't just take short-term sells and expect to swing the sells and expect an all-time reversal down to $0, right? Some of you guys be exaggerating it. Like you guys are looking for shorts, all of a sudden you go from looking to catch 10 pips to catching 500 pips. Like, bro, you know, you can't forget what the original idea was when you got into that trade in the first place, right? So like, yeah, you could be looking like this on the higher time frame. You could be having one bullish candle, but on the smaller time frame, you can be printing structure, and that structure could give you room for you to drive back into the ranges. Therefore, you could reject, and you could grab this pull here. We've done this plenty of times. Like on Friday, we grabbed that move on gold. The move, I think the move we grabbed was the buys, right? And that buy was the top wick on the daily, but we understood that, and that's why we weren't expecting anything crazy, right? So Friday's trade was basically based off of, if I'm not wrong, I'm pretty sure it was off of this candle here, if I'm not wrong, right here. This 15 closure at 9:30, right? No, where is it? It was 15 close respecting support. So it's this one right here at 8:30, and then we caught this pull right there. Yeah, so it was basically off of this candle here to left chat. It was off of we caught this buy here, right? This is the trade we got into on Friday, right? But you see how we understood that could potentially be a top wick because the daily bias is heavily still bearish that day, right? The bias is still bearish, so we understood that at any given point we could drop down, and our original target was 2007 that day, but we still managed to get buys because we understood that before this candle does anything else in this situation, it must come up to grab liquidity, right? So in this case here, you happen to close on the 15-minute candle with no bottom wick or respecting support, and then the 5 candle closed bullish back into the ranges, which indicated that we could push up to fill the wick, and that was a move we caught. We caught this move, we closed full, but we understood that, right? And we closed full there and expecting that price could possibly drop down for the rest of the day, and that's completely fine, right? There's nothing wrong with doing that at all. So you have to get used to that. You have to adapt to the current market structure on the smaller time frame, not just the higher time frame bias, because that could throw you off some days. I used to be at a point in my career as well where I would used to like literally only take trades with the bias of the day, and it's fine. You can do that. It's cool, right? But do you want to do that and sell down for a 7% win rate, you know, or do you want to evolve and get past that and get better? Right? You want to get better, obviously. You want to be able to read the markets in and out, like at the back of your palm, right? And to do that, you have to evolve. You can't just always be comfortable at where you are reading price action, right? I see a lot of traders get comfortable and they never evolve, right? That's cool. That's fine as well. You can still be a profit trader by not doing that, but again, you want to be able to push yourself to a limit and see how far you can go by reading candles, right? So yeah, that's something that I do now. I can't just take trades with the bias or without the bias. It doesn't matter. The small time frame matters because we're looking at scalp, right? If we're looking at swing, different story. We can look at the higher time frame, like the weekly, daily, etc. But in terms of the smaller time frame, we can read that time frame and adapt to the higher time frame. And that's kind of what we do now with biases, right? So yeah, biases, you don't need to have one bias for a day. You can have multiple biases for a day. You can also have multiple plays or different biases for the day as well. That's also fine as well. But again, you don't want to just take trades with only the bias, because there's a lot more you can probably grab in those situations. And sometimes you could even grab both. Like there's some days where I grab buys and I grab sells right afterwards, right? But some days I kind of just want to take one trade and call it a day as well. If you knew it was a top wick, surely it was more profitable taking a sell. Well, the thing is, like, we don't know it's going to be a top wick. It's not about knowing and not knowing. It's about learning to read the current market situation, right? So if the current market situation shows me that we're closing bullish on the 15, the idea for the day was, okay, bias is still bearish because we closed bullish on the daily, but we closed bullish on the daily respecting this resistance to the left-hand side, right? So we understood that the daily bias originally was the fact that you had a range to come down towards 2004 because this is the range we were breaking back into. So if that was the case, you're expecting a range fill. But before the range fill actually happens, right, you need a top wick on a daily, right? So if we're assuming that we can get a top wick on a daily before driving down, the small time frame then printed you a bullish candle on the 15 during right at the NFP. The candle pulled back on NFP, and we understood that, where was it? Yeah, right here. This 15 right here closed. Where is it? Is it here, chat? Am I tripping? Yeah, this candle right here. This thing closed. It didn't close below here. I think the idea was I closed respecting here or something like that. I think that's what I had, right? 2022. So it closed respecting there for me. On top of that, the 4 kind of had no top wick as well. And we're like saying like, okay, well, maybe the 4 count could flip and grab a top wick at 2038, right? But these are just like possibilities that we're playing in our head. It doesn't necessarily mean that needs to happen, right? But these are just ideas that could possibly play out with the way the candles look. So in that current situation, if we had an advantage point on the 5 and the 15 to drive up to fill that 5 top wick, we're going to look to move stop to break even there and manage risk there, right? But if the trade runs, then it'll run straight towards TP, right? It'll run straight up towards our target area. But in this situation, we understood that at that 15 top wick, that's a safe area to move stop to break even, because again, 15-minute top wicks on a smaller time frame are just resistance levels being formed, right? So if you go on, like for instance, if you go to like here, and then you go to this candle over here, right? And then you go on the 5 here, you're gonna see that, oh, this is the 5. You go on the 1 minute probably, right? You see how like there's levels of resistance here, right? That's what a 5 top wick is. It's just a rejection at resistance on the smaller time frame, and that leaves a wick on a higher time frame. So it's a lot of candle reading back and forth, but that's what that's what that meant, and that's what we understood. So we understood that at that point, you're looking to move stop to break even. You don't want to hold, understand that the daily bias can still flip for the day, right? So it's not about being like, sure, like this must happen. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about adapting to the current charts, adapting to what that candle could print in this current situation. If it doesn't print that current situation, then, you know, you got to adapt, right? If it closes bearish back into the range, okay, look, you're looking now to manage risk that stops to break even, whatever the case may be. Right? But you have to adapt to the current situations. It's not just about being like right or wrong, yes or no. Like try to remove the idea when you're trading of being just right or wrong. It's not like, that's not the idea of trading. And that doesn't make you a better or greater trader at all. You have to learn to adapt. That's like the number one thing as a trader you need to do. But yeah, that's what that means. Like we're never sure, you know, we're never sure on what could happen. We're never, you know, like the day bias could be whatever, but you know, there's no like guarantee that must happen, right? We're just trying to basically print out ideas in our head as to what we could take in that situation. And if those ideas don't print out, then forget about it. On to the next idea, right? What would have been the best way to get entries for runners on the sell? So like the thing is about me is I took my trades for a day and I called it a day. So I don't really know how I could have taken the sells down, to be honest. I think though that it could have been pretty straightforward with just closures below the ranges with the day that we're just trending heavily like that. I'm pretty sure a lot of people in the chat just got like regular, you know, closures below the ranges, wick fill entries or onion plays, etc. Yeah, I don't know. I got the charts after that. My brain went down to shut down. So I caught my trade and called it a day. But yeah, like I understood that we had a range to go down, right? But it's just kind of like, do I want to be here for an extra 2-3 hours on the charts, or whatever? I just call it a day early in a day. So that's how I seen it on Friday. Let's see. Let me go down to live chat here. But yeah, chat, I don't want to get off topic just yet. Okay, so I get we broke down a little bit of Friday's trades, but aside from that, this is the beginner's sort of like stream, right? So again, that was bias. Understand the bias and understand that you don't need to take trades with or against the bias. You can take whatever trades you want by adapting to the current charts of the current time frame you're trading, and you have to understand what you're trading as well, right? Again, if you're scalping, you want to scalp. If you're swinging, then swing, but understand what cycle you're in the markets, understand what you're trying to catch, and don't get distracted by anything else that happens after you enter those trades. But yeah, that's the bias. Now, when it comes to structure, this matters as well. Structure really matters because you have to understand what part of the cycle you're in. There's 3 major cycles in the markets, and it's pretty straightforward. There's a cycle of range, cycle of continuation, cycle of pullback, right? So cycle of for instance, continuation would be just purely, you'll see candles moving up, right? You just see candles pushing up. All of a sudden, as you push up, you're eventually at one given point, you're gonna start to hover. So for instance, wow, they changed the zoom. Finally, this is much better. So this is a continuation, right? At some given point, you're gonna slow down because price, remember what I said earlier, chat? Price doesn't just continue to drive. At some given point, it's gonna start to slow down and create structure. Why is it creating structure? Because it needs to grab liquidity to drive up towards the next area of ranges. So what you might see in the charts, and again, this is something you don't have to predict, right? These things you do not have to sit there and predict and guess. You can just simply watch price print those levels and adapt to that. So for instance, you can have a candle coming up like this. All of a sudden you have a break of structure, right? How do you identify a break of structure? Well, if you're right now, for instance, making higher highs, and then you're making higher lows, right? So higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. At some given point, you're gonna see a break of structure in terms of you won't be making a new higher high, right? So a break of structure in this case would look something like this. You'll start to come back down like this, right? And in this situation here, as you're coming down, what could happen now is, since you broke below the previous higher high, right? You're breaking structure in terms of you're breaking back into the ranges. You're now making a lower low. So this is now a break of structure. So you can start to form, once you break structure, you can start to say, okay, cool. There's a major resistance being formed like right around here, right? On price, right here. And then there's like a minor support being printed here. This is now the range that you can say that you're in, right? If this is the range you're in, understand, let me just remove these lines here so it's less confusing. But now if this is the range you're in, right here, right? This is the range that you would identify yourself in. Therefore, this is the second part of the cycle. So the continuation was this pull right around here. This is a continuation, right? This entire move up. All of a sudden, you have now a range because you broke structure, which means that this is what we call a range, right? So continuation, range, and then continuation, range, and then I guess decision level. That's next, right? Decision level is basically just like what happens down, because once you print a range, you can still get a continuation up, but like these are the two situations afterwards. You can either push up, right, to break structure, create a low, and to continue up, or you can start to break below and do something like this to make your way back down, right? But again, you don't have to predict what's going to happen there. All you have to understand is what part of the cycle you're in. So once you're in the range cycle, you have to sit back a little bit and say, okay, well, what are the potential possibilities that could happen within this range, right? You don't want to jump the gun and be like, okay, I think it's going to go down, I'm going to take sells, or I think it's going to go up, I'm going to take buys. You want to really wait to see what happens first. So at this point, I'll be like, okay, chat, you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to wait to see if we can grab liquidity. Now, that liquidity could be down before going up. It could be up before going down, but you really want to come in here with a clean mindset and not have like a fixed idea for the day as well. That's something that I dealt with a lot earlier this year, or even like a couple months ago, to be honest, where I had a fixed mindset coming into the charts with the buys. So I was very fixated on the idea for the day, but I learned to understand that you got to come in with a clear mindset, no matter how things look at whatsoever. So in this situation here, you can't just say, okay, well, I think we're going to go down here because, you know, whatever, looking left, this is what happened. Like, you know, wait to see what happens here. So what happens here is you can either one, you know, create support here, grab liquidity down here, break out of lows, respect support, and then continue to push up. That could happen. But the thing is, like, once you form a bottom wick, right? Yeah, you could attempt the bottom wick, but you need to wait for confirmations as well, right? You need to see some type of accounts closing, respecting support, something like that. But what you want to do probably is wait for the candle closure and then take the continuation of buys up. Because at this point, you see that, okay, cool. You grab liquidity down here, and now you should be going up to retest the highs and continue to push up towards the next area of resistance, right? So then this will be your entry areas, or this might be your bottom wick entry area, right? You don't need to take this entry if you don't have to. But to be honest, this and this are much more safe, I'll say, in the situation because you actually close bullish back into the range, right? So that could play out. What also could play out is you can also form a top wick before coming down. So you can also be looking somewhat like this, boom, boom, like this to drop down, right? Because if these candles are closing respect and resistance, right? Let's say, for instance, you have this, right? And then you have a high, break of the highs. Yeah, at this point, you're coming down now. You're coming down to retest the lows and fill the rest of the ranges, right? So at this point, you want to kind of look for sells to come back down to fill the areas, right? But you don't have to take this wick entry up here. You don't gotta take this up here. You can just wait for the closure and then take this down here, or take this down here, or even take this down here, right? but wait for that to form and then hop in the wave, because now you had over here what's called a continuation, right? You had a range, and now you have a reversal in this situation, right? But the first two steps are always going to form no matter what. The continuation and the range, that's always going to form. The third step is deciding on what happens next in terms of direction we pull towards now. Either grab liquidity to drive down or grab liquidity to drive up. But that's something you wait for, and that's not something you try to guess and predict, because you can get clapped, and a lot of traders get clapped by doing that. And that's fine, right? You'll learn, but the best way is just to adapt to the current situation of the charts and come in there with a clean mindset for the day. But yeah, so we talked about bias, we talked about market structure, we talked about the 3 cycles of the markets. Now, I think that's about it, really. Like now, at this point, it's just kind of just like, if you guys have any questions on anything that I just explained, I'll go through them. But that's like the main foundation, I'll say, of the strategy, like the very basics. Those are things you have to understand. You have to understand when to kind of like play your card and when not to, and that comes down to what the market prints, not on what you decide to do, right? But yeah. If I went too quick, let me know. But again, like, now's the time to shine. You know, ask your questions. Let me try to send the Zoom link one more time here. But because I feel kind of lonely without the Zoom. Not gonna lie to you. Let me just send my Zoom link here. See if it works. But I don't know, bro. I don't know how to fix this audio because it's coming from yo. Nah, it's not gonna fix. I got a 1440 HDR. Yo, it's not gonna fix. No. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, Zoom. Okay, I got it. Yo, Zoom, I'm gonna send another link. My bad. I'm gonna start 2 Zoom calls then, because then I could connect this Zoom call to my streaming PC. At the same time, I can draw on the other PC. So if I connect this, they will hear me through audio. So let me go ahead and do this. They can hear me through the audio, and then make sure. Yeah, so I can do that. And then after, on this Zoom, I can open up another Zoom here and have my drawings on this Zoom still. So that way. So now they see everything. Yo, Huss, you hear me? Or you see my screen though when I draw? So if I go like, you see all of this, right? All right, okay, sick. I found a fix. That's a W. Anyways, chat. Yeah, so that's what we went through just now. So if you have any questions, I probably got a lot of questions, right? Let me just go ahead and read them. What's up? Do you move your stop loss? Yes. So I do move my stop losses in some situations. It's very rare. Like Friday, I didn't move it. Friday I did move it by 8 pips, but you know, that's not really a move. That's kind of just like just to put it more precisely in. But sometimes I would move my stops. Yeah. It depends on the situation though. It depends, because I honestly think that at one given point in my career, it'll get to a point where I won't have a stop loss directly on screen, but we have a stop loss in terms of we're waiting for closures, because I believe closures are more effective than just wicks, right? I believe like Friday's situation, I'll say we were very precise with the stop loss. We got in that situation, we kind of just, you know, got away with it. But at any given point, that wick could have been formed and you can still respect the level in terms of not closing above. Or not Friday, my bad. Thursday's trade or some shit, or Wednesday or Tuesday's trade, the one that took like 5 hours to play out. That one, I think it was around here, right? At 2010, if I'm not wrong. Was it this? I think it was this. So this right here, we put our stops below here 2008 because we understood that if that low were to get broken, then you're going to drop down towards the next area of traffic, whatever the case may be. But in this situation, if you're still closing respecting that support, any given point, you can wick all the way down and still respect and drive back up the other way. In this situation, that's what price did, right? Pushed up towards 34, 35 afterwards, and then just range. But we understood that as long as you don't close below here, you're still valid. So sometimes what I might do is remove my stop. And then once I see price actually close below the ranges, I'll look to get out. I look to manage risk afterwards, right? So for instance, if you were to close below like this, okay, sure. At that point, I'm closing full. So that stop loss now could be reduced or greater. I don't know, depending on the situation. But that it would be a lot more ideal than waiting for actual wick to get stops. That's just my opinion off of my experience, right? Now, if you don't agree with that, then you don't agree with that. I'm not gonna argue with that. I'm going off of whatever I see, right? But I do believe that, yeah, like at one point in my career, it's gonna get down to that. It's gonna come down to just managing risk off of closures and not off of wicks. And I'm being 100% real. That's likely what's gonna happen. Me and Wick we both spoke about this for months now, right? I don't know, might be next year, might be the year afterwards, but it's gonna get to that point. I'm pretty sure. Any questions regarding the bias, liquidity, and all that stuff? You know, how do you confirm entry points? Entry points. So once I figure out the bias, once I figure out liquidity levels, it comes down to what's being printed. So for instance, if you are, for instance, coming down like this, right? Let me go on a RAM area charts and do something real quick, like here, for instance. All right, so you go here, you go into charts, you're gonna see that we're in the structures. Off the rip, I can just imagine what could happen here. So think about it this way, right? You're currently bullish for a day. There's a bias right here that says that you're bullish. We're pushing up, great, amazing. But you do also understand that the current situation right now, we are also coming down, right? The past couple of 1 hour candles have been coming down. What that means is that, yeah, at any given point, if the current structure right now is bearish compared to the overall being bullish, you could at any given point create a top wick to drive down, right? So what I'll do in this situation here is I'll mark this up as obviously the continuation and then the range being printed. You now have a support being formed here and then a resistance probably being formed, I'll say right around here. This is the range you're in. What I'll do here is I can wait. I can wait to see what happens, because if you understand we're bullish for a day, what can happen here is you can just print a bottom wick here, breaking at lows to drive up, right? But the idea is that you need to grab liquidity to drive up, because in this situation, there's not enough liquidity here being grabbed. And I don't see why you would pull back without grabbing liquidity. So to drive up here, I would likely want to see a bottom wick, the break at lows, and then push up. And then if you were to drop down for the situation, if you're going off of the most recent structure, what needs to happen here is you need to print a top wick and then a closure below the range like this. And then that will be an indication that we're going to drive down. But I'm not going to take anything in this range here. So I'm going to see what happens here and look to take my entries off of that. So pushing up, top wick. Okay, cool. Top wick didn't close below the range yet. You need a closure below the range to identify anything. Didn't close below the range yet. Still within the ranges, right? Still in. So not doing anything yet. Still in the ranges. What time is this? This is dead Asian session. Okay, let me I would prefer this in New York session, but still in the range, all right? So can't do much yet. Let me just go ahead and put this here so you guys can see what's up, right? So that's the range we're in, basically. We're trying to identify what can possibly happen here. The good thing about this though is that since you're in the range, any given point you can look to trade the range, because assuming that if you were to drive up here, you need a bottom wick anyways, right? So I'm pretty sure like at some given point, even if the price were to drive up, you're safe to go down towards 1991. If you were to drive up, and if you were to drive down, obviously you'll pass 1991. So to be honest, in the ranges, you can probably take a sell within the middle of the ranges. Like it's not the most ideal trade, but I'm going to show you guys an example of what can happen here, because I'm pretty confident that even if price were to drive up in this situation, you're going to form a bottom wick to drive up here, right? And then if you were to drive down the situation, you're going to form a top wick to drive down, which means that like regardless, like you have a kind of win-win situation in terms of you can pop down towards 1991. But you have to understand that 1991, 1992 areas, like this zone here, I'll say, will be your break-even point in terms of at that point, you want to move stocks to break even, because that could be a level of rejection, right? That's the idea behind the trade, that you have an advantage point coming down towards 91. So let's see what happens here. All right, there you go. So you tap 91, right? Just like we said. So at this point, you're going risk free because you understand now that even if price were to drive up, that was a bond wick needed. You're done, right? That's the trade. So now you'd be like, 4 pips in profit, whatever, closing full, closing half, stops break even, right? But it's like, even if you were to drive up, your bond wick is done now. So you don't got to worry about that. You're risk free. And if you were to drive down, then you got runners down, right? I think in this situation though, you're going to need a top wick because there's no top wicks right here being formed. I'm pretty sure the next candle or something like that is going to come up like this, right? Before it drives down because you need liquidity up to drive down in this situation. But in this situation, like, yeah, you can just trade the ranges, to be honest. It's, yeah, see, so you're starting to reject that area. Yeah, so top wick form. Okay, what's going to happen now? You see what I mean? Now that it broke the lows first, yeah, this could just be a 4-hour bottom wick for us to rip up to the top of the ranges. But the idea is that you're going to come down towards 91 no matter what price does here, right? But yeah, that's an example of an entry. Just like sometimes it might just be a trader in the middle of the ranges. Sometimes it might be a breakout. Sometimes it might be the top of the ranges, right? Whatever the case may be, but it comes down to what the current market is printing and what's missing from the current situation of the market. What's missing from the cycle, right? The cycle here was you need a liquidity to drive up. So that was a perfect example, to be honest. I might have got lucky with that. Let me find another example here. A little more, I'll say, complex example. That was pretty straightforward. Like, let's go to like here, for instance, right? So in this situation here, okay, off the rip, I can imagine what could happen here. Like so far in top of my mind, I'm saying, okay, well, is this a top wick here for us to drive down, or are we going to create a steeper top wick? Right? So now I need to confirm that that is not the top wick, or I need to confirm that that is the top wick, right? So what I'll do here is I'll mark up my zones like this. I'll draw support right here, right? And I'll be like, okay, cool. If price were to drive down here, what needs to happen here? If price were to drive down, I would like to see a top wick being formed. But is this already a top wick being formed? I don't know. So what I'll need now to do extra is I need to see a closure below the range like this. Once it closes below the ranges, I'll then wait to see if we can get a top wick before driving down, or if we're just going to continue to push down, that's fine as well. I have a sell stop below here or something like that. But that's my idea off of scanning this off the rip. So let's see what happens here. What time is it? This is a dead session, right? Okay, this is Asian session. Okay, yeah. So we close below the range, nothing sells yet. Understand that you still need a top wick that could potentially form within these areas here. A lot of traders here who takes buys above and sells below might be getting clapped here, right? And then you don't want to get clapped. You want to wait to see liquidity being formed and then hop on the wave. And there might be a new support being formed for you anyways. All right, so you've broken back into the range. Again, a lot of traders will got clapped here who just put buys above here, sells below here. You don't want to do that. You want to now move your support down to the most recent area, which is here, because you have to adapt to the current price. In this situation, it's at 924.853, right? So in this area here, you want to put that level there. And now you want to also draw your resistance as well. So I'll put my resistance maybe up here at like 1929, 1929.6, something like that, right? This is now what we call a range that's being established. So if you broke the lows first in the most recent resistance here and you're breaking back into the range now, could this break back into the range be a continuation up towards the top of the range at 29, right? Could that be it? It could be, right? But do you want to take buys in this situation here? You can, but it's not the cleanest ranges. What I'd rather do, especially if the bias is bearish for a day, I'd rather take sells down. In terms of buys, I can maybe look for buys like once you break above this structure, or once you break below 24 and you have some type of liquidity down or something like that. But as of right now, we're in this range. We understood that this is a trade we could not take and we didn't get clapped there. So that's a W. And now we got to wait to see what happens next. So you're filling the top of the range, I'm assuming, right? Or not, you're still in the same range. Okay, so you broke the highs, right? You broke the most recent, which is here, and now you're breaking back into the ranges. So this is great now. In terms of structure, it looks amazing. I think, what time is it? It's London session, so things are starting to print. Okay, amazing. So if this is a high being printed and they're closing below the ranges now, what I'll do is I want to take an entry off rip. I'll wait for a top wick. If you can get one more top wick tap breaking like 25 or something like that, I'll look to take a wick entry maybe around like here or something like that. Like here at like 25.021, or worst case, we can also just wait for some type of closure below here and take sells below 21 down towards whatever the next bias is, or next area is, which in this case is going to be 2017, a little higher maybe. All right, so it's either we got a top wick here for a sell limit, or market execution for a wick entry, or we get sells below 21 here. But this range I cannot trade just yet. All right, so there's a top wick. Look at that precisely tap. All right, so we would have been in here probably at this point. We probably would have been in here. I'm not too sure how this candle printed. It looks like it just came for a top wick. So this is where I'll look for entries at probably. So let's see what happens here. Start to reject. Back into the ranges. Yeah, so this right here, we probably would have been risk free, I'm pretty sure, because you would have rejected the resistance and you would have came down to fill the bottom of the ranges. So that would have given us like a what? A 20 pip range, right? That would have been it. But that was the most recent resistance to come down towards the next minor area, which in this case, it came down tap. In real life, we probably would have been risk free. We can all agree to that, right? But yeah, that's the idea. So in this situation, wick entry would have been more ideal here. After you got the fake out, I'm not too sure in real life if I would have taken this top of the range here, just because I honestly would have waited for oh yeah, you know what, I would have waited for, I think 31 to get tapped or something. I don't think I would have taken it here, but 31 didn't get tapped, so you create a topic here instead. So now you got to adapt to the current charts in this situation. You coming back to the ranges, closing below 24, that's your current area, and you want to wait for a topic there to drive down, and that's where we would have gotten. But that would have been the ideal trade of this chart. But yeah, it's all different. Like sometimes it might be a flip, sometimes it might be a wick entry. It comes down to exactly what the market currently is printing. All right, so I don't want to get too far ahead with just a simulation. Every day we just be doing the simulation, okay, chat? So we're gonna save that for tomorrow. But I want to get over the basics. I don't want to, you know, to lose track of what we're doing today. Even though, you know, I know all of you guys are experienced and advanced here and you guys don't need the basics, but we need to go through the basics here. That was the ideal plan today, okay? But yeah, bro. The good thing about this is that we didn't get clapped in the first situation though. Right, we would have avoided that trade there. But yeah, anything else, chat? Anything else in terms of what we discussed so far? If I'm going too fast, let me know. But how can you be confident a candle will drive once breaking highs and lows and not just fake out? Well, it comes down to what the market's printing, right? So it has nothing to do with confidence. It has nothing to do with gut feelings. Like Elvis asked me a question on Friday. He was like, Don, are some of your trades off of gut feelings? I'm like, no, because gut feeling is more so of an emotional approach. It's not really gut feeling. It's, if anything, more so of just experience of seeing the same cycle being printed multiple times in the past and understanding that that situation could happen this time around, and therefore that's the ideal you can have in your head to take trades off of. But you still gotta wait for closures, you still gotta wait for top wicks, etc., right? So yeah, so it has nothing to do with confidence at all. It's more so of just, for instance, like if this were to happen here, right? Let me try to do this a little slower. But if we were to have, let's say, a push up like this to the top of the range, bro, my sensitivity feels off today. I'm drawing these counts a little off. So let's say this is what you have, right? So within this situation here, chat, if this is your support, I'll say, right? Because what we did here was we closed, for instance, let me draw one more bullish candle just to confirm that this is a bullish trend. So let's say this is a bullish trend, and all of a sudden you came up and you rejected, right? Again, you don't have to sit there and wait for the rejection. You can just wait to see, or my bad, and you don't have to go ahead and predict the rejection. You can just wait and see where the rejection is. In this situation, the rejection is up here at the top of the ranges, which is gonna be up here at 2036, right? So if this is the range that you're currently sitting in now, this is your resistance being formed, that's your support being potentially formed, because you don't have a bullish candle yet. All you gotta do here really is say, okay, well, if you're closing bearish here at resistance, this in this situation could mean that you could have potential support form here. So if you see a candle closing bearish at the bottom of the ranges, understanding that the bullish is still bullish, or the bullish is still bullish, the bias is still bullish, right? You would anticipate that that bearish candle could just be a bottom wick for us to rip up on a different time frame. So what you could take is you could, one, wait for the bottom wick to be printed, because if a candle closes bearish, the next candle should follow up bearish as well to fill the range at least, right? So if you end up coming down here, for instance, and then you start to flip bullish, you can have a buy stop on the flip, because after the bottom wick and the candle flipping, you would assume that, okay, cool, any given point you can look to take the flip up to fill the ranges, and this at the same given time could have just been a bottom wick for us to rip up. that could have been your liquidity being formed, right? But that candle here, you'll see it looking like this at some given point. You'll see it coming down, right? Because it's a bearish candle off of the previous bearish candle. You see it coming down. So you could take the wick entry here, but it comes down to a smaller time frame. Let's say this is the 15 time frame and it's coming down. If the 5-minute candle were to have no bottom wick, for instance, so let's say this is the 15, and on the 5, as the candle looks, it looks something like this, right? It has no bottom wick. And then you might need like, this might be confusing, but like for instance, if this is how the 15 looks and this is how the 5 looks, and the 5 needs some type of liquidity to be grabbed up here, in this situation, if you understand that you need a 5 to grab liquidity up there, on top of that you have no bottom wick here, yeah, at that point I'm gonna take a wick entry, because now I'm assuming that this 15 here is gonna flip bullish to make its way up to the top of the range, right? So whatever I was looking for, whatever I was looking at on the higher time frame is whatever I'm looking at on the smaller time frame as well. But if there's confirmations on a smaller time frame showing me signs that, you know, there's no top wick here, you need a top wick here, there's no bottom wick here, so there's less probability of us to drive down, and the 15 is just coming down with no top wick, I'm gonna put that together and say, okay, cool, that could be a wick entry area, because there's a confirmation on a smaller time frame that leads you up towards a higher time frame. Meanwhile, the 15-minute time frame has no top wick, so that's a wick entry that I'm gonna take right there at the bottom of the range, right? But if let's say there's none of that being formed, and you're coming down to 15 like this, and the 5 doesn't look like it's gonna flip bullish, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for the flip. I'm gonna say, okay, you know what? Fuck the small time frame. I'm just gonna have this range marked up here as my resistance support. I'm gonna take a buy stop, because if the 15 flips, that's a confirmation that you're gonna drive up. If the 15 doesn't flip, then I'm not gonna take the buys up. Makes sense? So therefore, I'll take the flip instead of the wick. But that's fine. You don't have to always take the wick entry. Like this case here, it would have given you an extra, let's say 20 pips, but you know, it's not about catching the most pips for a day. It's about catching the right move for the day of what is in your playbook. But yeah, that's that situation. So the difference between tops and wick entries and non-wick entries, it comes down to what the market is being printed at the moment. It's a little confusing, but you kind of just gotta apply everything that you do on each time frame to every other time frame, if that makes sense. Like you can't just look at the 1 hour, do like a 1 hour analysis, and not do a 1 hour analysis in the 5 as well. You have to put the same effort into that smaller time frame, because the smaller time frame leads to the higher time frame, and the higher time frame leads to the smaller time frame. What's the difference between a position off the rip versus waiting for a celery and onion? So sometimes when you don't have liquidity being formed yet, right? So when there's no liquidity being formed, you can just take the off the rip, or my bad, you can wait for liquidity being formed. So that, for instance, if you were to continue to drive up like this, and I notice that there's just constant bullish pressure here, this is just pushing up, I wouldn't take a buy off the rip. Why? Because I understand at any given point you could grab liquidity. So in this situation, I'll say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna wait for liquidity to be formed. You finally get liquidity being formed. Let's say it's right here. You come down, you know, whatever, cool. Oops. You come down here, cool. This is how it looks. You understand, okay, cool. This is now your resistance. This is your support being formed. What I'm gonna do here is I have two options. Again, take the wick entry down, or wait for the break of highs and take the buys up, right? But in this situation, once you actually form liquidity, great. At that point, I'm gonna look to take my positions off the rip, off of the candle closure. So let's say you close above the range right here, and this is your entry area because you're closing above the range. At this area, I'll look to take a buy off rip, right? But if that didn't form yet, if you were to look at this candle over here, I wouldn't take it. I'll wait for liquidity to be formed. So it comes down to if liquidity is being formed already, or versus when it's not gonna be formed, because that's what it comes down to, right? That's what determines where price is gonna go next. So basically, to keep it short, no liquidity, wait for no liquidity, wait for the onion setup play, or whatever your setup is, right? And then with liquidity, wait, take it off the rip, because you already have that stuff being formed. You don't need to wait for it to be formed. Different time frames, entries. I'm so used to always entering off the 5. So whatever you enter off the 5, understand why. Okay, ask yourself this, right? Why are you entering off the 5? What makes the 5 so special in this situation? Okay, cool. What makes the 5 so special is you have a closure above the range in the 5 after forming the onion play. Amazing. Now, go to the higher time frame. What's so special about the higher time frame in this situation? If whatever you've seen on the 5, you see on the 30, take it off the 30. Same thing, because all time frames are the same at the end of the day. All time frames have a candle closure, an opening, a top wick, a bottom wick, etc. So you can enter off whatever time frame you want to enter off of. It's all the same shit, but you have to wait for the same plays. And that's why I asked. You have to understand why you're getting into your trades. If you're entering out the 5 just because, you know, whatever, then it's going to be whatever. But if you're entering out the 5 because there's a bottom wick being formed, closure back above the range, then on the higher time frame, that's what you wait for. A bottom wick below the range and a closure back above the range to take the entries. Make sense? But you have to understand that all candles are the same on all time frames. Obviously, the higher time frames will have strong confirmations in terms of ranges, right? But overall, it's the same type of candles. Even on the 1 minute time frame, some might laugh, but the 1 minute has this exact same shit. Like, what do you have here? You have what do you have here? You have this support being printed right around here, or let's say this resistance being formed right around here, and then you have the support being formed right around here. What's missing here is liquidity. So on the 1 minute time frame, what I'll expect next is I'll expect us to push up, but before pushing up, you see a bottom wick. So if this were to form, great. I'll take the buys off of the flip, or I'll take the wick entries down here. But it's the same shit. All the candles are the same on all time frames. Let's see. Can you explain all your setups? I can't. I'll tell you why I can't. Because like I can explain the basics, but each setup, there's so many nuances to each setup. How am I gonna be able to do that? Like, I can say the playbook, but if I'm being realistic, you know, there's a lot of trades outside the playbook as well. But the overall, like, I'll say structure of price is the basics. So, which is, there's really only, man, this is gonna be a lot. But for instance, like, you can have this as a range here, right? You can have an idea of what the markets are being printed in terms of, once you have a range here being printed like this, right? You could determine this range here being printed as, let's say, an onion or something, because you have a bullish closure as support, which closed above a minor resistance here, and then you now would understand that you have range to drive up to the top of the range. So as you have this thing being printed, right, and the bias for the day was bullish, you can say, okay, cool, this is an onion play. So within the onion play, you could take a couple things. You can take the wick entry down, right, for a bottom wick entry. You can take the flip here, or you can wait for a closure outside the range and wait for a closure above, and that'll be a breakout, right? But there's so many nuances. Like, it's hard for me to just sit down here and just explain every single entry I've taken. But for the most part, this is the foundation though, right? The foundation entries is simply just the breakout, onion, and what else is there, chat? Breakout, onion, fake out. That's it. Those three things, right? So if you go in the playbook here, you go to the breakout. I don't have the playbook on this PC, but you go on the so it's gonna show you the breakout, breakout, onion, and fake out. Once you identify what part of the cycle you're in terms of which idea that is, either breakout, fake out, or onion, you would now look for entries off of the smaller time frame towards those higher time frame ideas. So let's say the 4 kind of printed an onion play. You would then go on the 5, 15, 1, look for entries on the 5, 15, 1 to go up towards the 4-hour onion play. Make sense? So yeah, like the foundation, you know, breakout, fake out, onion. But entries, there could be wick entries, bond the ranges, know the ranges. That stuff I gotta make a new playbook for. So that's why I can't really sit down and explain it as well. My trading rules is simply to wake up, understand that I'm not making money for a day, understand that today could be a win-loss break even, understand that I have to follow my playbook to be a profitable trader. So I'll follow my playbook. Whatever play comes first in my playbook, I'll take. Win-loss break even, doesn't matter. I'm taking the same steps again tomorrow. So that's my rules for the day. That's it. But what's important is understand that you're not gonna make money. That's important because you don't want to come to the charts having this urge to take a trade because you want to make money. Therefore, you're gonna start to take impulsive trades and trades outside your playbook just so you can make money. And in the end, that's not really worth it. You know what I mean? That's not worth to do in the end because you're just ruining your own journey. Basically, you're taking cuts to make money. And the reason you want to get the only way to get profitable is if you don't try to make money and you try to adapt to what the market gives you, because that will last forever. That builds skill, that builds patience, that builds discipline. But making money doesn't build shit. It's the fruits of labor. Sure, you get rewarded for doing that, but at the end of the day, you're not really building skill off of that, right? At all. So those are my rules for trading. It sounds crazy, but that's the only way to become profitable. Like, you literally have to understand that you're not making money on the charts. Understanding that you have to adapt to your plan that day, right? That's what the focus is. What do you think you could have done better, or what did you overlook, you think, with the trade that you had that long this Friday this week? So it's hard because I don't determine my trades off of a one trade basis. It takes me multiple trades, a lot of sample sizing for me to really understand that, okay, this trade is invalid. I'm not gonna take a trade, take a loss, and then the next day come back and be like, what could I do today? Nothing. You can't do anything. If I spent the last 8 months sample sizing that trade, and all of a sudden one day I had a 4-hour drawdown, that 4-hour drawdown doesn't take out the last 8 months of what I've done, right? But now, if the next 6 months were to come, for instance, I'm just throwing round numbers out, but the next 6 months were to come and that trade were to not play out, sure, at that point, you can look to adapt and adjust. But you can't do it off of one trade. So the next day, I came to the charts, right? And I took the exact same trade. And that trade the next day lasted how long? 20 seconds. Got in, out, called it a day, right? But in terms of that situation, you can't really change the way you trade off of one trade. And that goes for anybody out there too. Not just me, not just my strategy. Every strategy out there. A lot of traders tend to switch their strategies often because they notice that it doesn't work. And that's okay, but you also have to understand that it takes a lot more data than what you've journaled to understand the real percentages of your trades. It takes years to months, right? So yeah, that's me, and that's me with sample sizing too. Like, there's times where I sample size trades for like 8 months and I didn't take anything. I'm like, you know what? This setup turns out to not be as profitable as I thought it was, and it wasn't a waste of time because I learned about it. But it's something that I'm not gonna take going forward, even though I spent 8 months sample sizing and forward testing that trade, right? And that's the approach you kind of gotta have with everything you do in the charts. You can't just, go in, take a trade, take a loss. All right, this trade is scrapped. No, this trade might have not been scrapped. This trade has 85% win rate, but that 50% might not play out. And that today might have been the 50% that didn't play out. And that's okay, right? So you wanna keep going with those setups until months come by and you determine that it's not profitable anymore. Yeah, it takes time. Exactly. It takes a lot of time. Yo, peace out, George. Yeah, so but like, don't get that confused with ego. Like, you want to remove ego from your trading, right? Just because I'm not taking action the very next day doesn't mean it's like, this like it's like ego. It's like an ego thing not to do. It's like I'm always adapting. Every day I'm adapting. It just takes time to adapt. It's not instant, right? So whenever I go on Instagram and I go on my Explore page and I see a lot of traders saying, yeah, today my trade didn't play out. I came back the next day and I didn't take the sell again. I'm like, why? Right? That trade, like, if you spent months sample sizing that trade, there's no reason to drop that trade after a trade, especially after some drawdown or a loss, right? Is your mentor the same as Nick from Time to Eat Trading? Wait, what? I mean, me and Nick are friends, but mentor? I'm cool with Nick, but I don't know. Like he does his thing. I do my thing. Like I don't think we trade similar, but like, you know, like I don't think. Oh, Raja. Okay, Raja makes more sense. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. I was like, huh? Nah. So yeah, Raja. He taught me the basics of. I used to watch the streams, right? So he taught me the basics of support resistance and price action. Introduced me to price action, I'll say. In terms of the way I trade now, you're gonna know it's night and day. There's a complete difference, right? Like at some point in my career, sure, for the last the first 2-3 years, everyone was saying you trade exactly like Roger Banks. But I think at this point, it's pretty straightforward that we trade similar in terms of price action, but completely different styles at the end of the day, in terms of entries, in terms of waiting for closures, in terms of liquidity, all that stuff, right? We trade completely different. But yeah, like he did introduce me to price action. And then also Ted helped me along the way too, in terms of just introducing me to candles. So Raja introduced me to price action. Again, they're all the same group, right? And then Ted introduced me to candles. And then the rest was just kind of like my own data and my own forward testing over the years. And that's why you can't really find my strategy anywhere else, because I combined everyone's strategy from the start of my career. Q Banks, Steve Morrow, Raja, Ted, everyone's strategy combined, like literally everybody. And I made it my own. And that's why you can't find my strategy anywhere else, right? It's just how I trade. And that's how it should be for you guys as well. You guys shouldn't be coming to the charts trying to trade the way I do it. I trade. You guys should be coming to the charts trying to trade the way that works best for you. And that might mean maybe taking a wick entry from me, taking a closure below for Raja, taking a flip on Nick's stream or something like that, right? But like, you know, like take a piece from everybody. But, you know, yeah, that's the approach you want to have. Yeah, I know Stylus Maris. He's cool. He's my boy too. I'm cool with all the streamers, bro. Well, I like to assume so. I'm not trying to, you know, I'm cool with all the streamers. I respect all the streamers out there, because at the end of the day, they're all providing value for free, right? They're all W streamers. But it's up to you and who you want to watch. Up to you who click with the most, right? If my shit's too advanced, okay, maybe drop to another stream. Or my shit's too whatever for you. The RR is not positive, Don. I don't know about this trade. Okay, maybe it's not for you, right? But like no one can tell me that my shit, you know, is weak or garbage or whatever, because I've been doing this I've been doing the same thing on stream for a long time now, right? I know myself that my stuff works for myself, so I trade for myself, and that's completely fine, right? You don't gotta agree with the mentor that you trade with. You can just take a piece of his stuff and use it towards your own strategy, right? A lot of traders don't agree with my stops, so they go and learn from me, but they have a smart stop, right? But that's fine as well. How did it feel when you went full time? Was there any pressure? Yes and no, because I made sure I had enough money for the next couple of months to spend, years to spend. And I didn't just go full time assuming that I'll make it in trading. I went full time understanding that, you know, I've had some profit months in trading, and now it's just time to evolve from that. And that's why I never take breaks. Like till today, it's been 5 years already since it's been 4 years since I went full time. I'm not taking breaks. I'm still doing the same thing I do every day and trying to evolve, because there's no end to this journey at all. I'm always gonna be pushing forward to reach new levels that I myself can't even imagine. Even today, chat. You know, even today, like, even though we've been killing the last month, like, still, bro, there's so much more to learn and so much more to improve on. Why would I stop now, right? And that's what you guys should be doing too. Don't just get profitable and quit. Like, get profitable, because there's levels to this shit. There's profitable 75 win rate. There's profitable 85% win rate. There's like, you know, there's levels to this shit. And also, why would you not want to see what your full potential is? Right? I get it. If you want to go and get into trading, make a quick buck and leave, sure. you know, you don't gotta evolve. But if you really want to be here long term, and I think I really do, I'm gonna continue to reach new levels that I myself can't even imagine. Yeah, get profitable and go hard, bro. Like, just go hard at it. Don't get profitable and say, okay, this is it. This is what I dreamt of. Nah, bro. Continue to push. But that's like anything else, though. That's not just trading, right? That's just anything else you do in life too. Yeah. It's not, for me, it's not even a money thing too. It's not even like I want more money. It's more so just because I'm using the same lot size. I change my lot size once a year, right? So obviously it's not a money thing. It's more so just I want to see how far I can push. I want to see what boundaries I can break myself. I want to see how well I'm able to read the charts. And I know for the next 5-10 years to come, when 10 years goes by, like if I'm at the pace I am now, I'm pretty sure I'll be somewhere else in 10 years, right? And you guys will probably be coming along as well. Plan stream next year. Go ahead, stream, bro. Yeah, not a bad idea at all, bro. I would support it. Yeah, it judges most beautiful thing in life for sure. It is. It is, but when it comes to trading, it's a little hard because you're making money, right? So it's different, but you have to keep that same mindset because how are you gonna improve? How else are you gonna get better, right? Do you think it's better to focus on major pairs instead of looking at all pairs? Major pairs versus all pairs, I'll say no, there's no real answer to that, to be honest, bro. Like you can trade multiple pairs. Wait, what was the question? Major pairs instead of looking for all pairs? Nah. So no. I don't think changing the pairs you pick will make a difference in your trading, to be honest. I think the reason why a lot of traders have a lot of pairs sometimes is because they're looking for more setups. And that's cool as well. You can do that. But if you can master one pair and read that one pair day in, day out and not get conflicted by other pairs, sure, that's amazing. But if you also decide to choose multiple pairs and trade out as well, that's fine. But it comes down to what works best for you. Like, like what session do you trade? What pairs are evolved during that session? Like stuff like that you want to ask yourself when it comes to choosing the best pairs for yourself, I don't know. I'm pretty sure if we were to go and trade 3 more pairs, we'll be fine because I don't think we'll be, in terms of like discipline, we won't be getting conflicted by looking at more pairs that will lead us to look at for more trades. I think we'll still stick to our rules in terms of looking for the highest probable trade no matter how many pairs we look at. Like I can look at 100 pairs and see one stop and take that one stop and call it a day. But I'm not gonna do that obviously, but it comes down to just what works best for you, to be honest. What do you think? $100 to a 10K, how much time will it take? You fucked up as a trader, bro. I'm sorry. You fucked up as a trader. You need to get rid of that mindset. Stop thinking, how long will it take to get from $100 to 10K? Think about how long it'll take from $100 to $101. That's the focus. But $1, Don, that's not a lot of money. That's not gonna change my life. Trading isn't supposed to change your life. It's a skill you can get into, and eventually it could change your life, but it won't change your life right away. So don't be expecting to put $100 in and flipping it to 10K in a month or two, because you know what's gonna happen? If you made that in 2 months, you're gonna lose that before 2 months. I'm telling you right now, I've seen that story 1,000 times, and it doesn't impress me when people hit me up and say, Don, thank you so much, Don. I flipped my account from 4K today to 16K. Okay, cool. Hit me back up in 2 weeks. 2 weeks goes by. Oh man, I took a little break today. Fuck, bro. My psychology got the best of me. Well, no shit, they got the best of you. You flipped your account from 4K to 16K. What do you think? That's not longevity. That's quick money, right? You want to build the skill. You don't build skills by building accounts. You build skill by creating plans and sticking to those plans, because that builds discipline, that builds patience, and that's what you want to do. Yeah, you do not want to flip your account. That's the worst thing you can do to yourself. It's false expectations that you're building for yourself. It's not a good way to learn. Now, if you're making money and you're for sure gonna leave and quit trading, okay, cool. That's fine. But if you're gonna be here long term, that's the approach you do not want to have, man. I've seen it happen so many times. You guys are probably saying, wow, that happened to me. Yeah, it happened to me too. That's why I'm saying it. I'm speaking off personal experience, right? You load up your account. This is, I'll break it down. I'll break it down day by day of how it works. You load up an account after getting your paycheck, $100. You flip the account from 100. You start the account off slow. You're like, okay, I'm gonna take it serious now. I'm gonna use risk management. I'm actually gonna use $1,000 in this case. All right, so $1,000. You load up the account. I'm gonna use proper risk management here. You trade the account, discipline as shit. First 2 weeks, you're disciplined. You're waiting for your trades. You're tuning into the New York session every day. You're trading, cool. You flip that account from 1,000 to like 1,400 in the first, or 1,200 in the first 2 weeks. Great. Yo, Don, I made 20%. Is that 20%? Yeah, that's 20%. I made 20%, Don. I'm like, that's amazing. That's actually pretty not bad. 2 months, 20%, that's realistic. Or 2 weeks, that's somewhat better realistically than others, right? But what happens now is, okay, the new week comes. You're like, okay, cool. I'm so pumped for the charts, bro. I'm so pumped. I've been watching mad videos over the weekend, read bear books over the weekend, and it's time to grow this 1.2K account to 1.4. I think I got it. You the moment you have that mindset, you fucked up. You know what's gonna happen now? You come into the charts, you're expected to make money. You start chasing that money. Sure, trades might play out. If it does play out, you fucked up. If it doesn't play out, great. It sets you back a little bit, and that's amazing. Not because you lost money, but because, I'll tell you why. You flip the account from 1,200 to 1,400, right? At this point, it's like, okay, what was it again? Oh yeah, you came to the week trying to you focused on making money instead of focused on building the skill, right? So now you flip your account from 1.2 to 1.4. What happens now is you're like, shit, if I just flip my account from 1.2 to 1.4, I might as well go flip my account to 2K, because now you're thinking about 2K, right? You went from making 1K, or growing your account slowly over time, to thinking about making more money, because you think that you gain more confidence because you made more money. But realistically, all you did was you gain confidence to gamble more. So now you flip your account from 1,000 to 2,000. At this point, you lost it, because you're now gonna come to the next week trying to flip that 2K account to like 5K probably, because you've seen how fast you grew the account from 1K to 2K. So you're starting to lose yourself, right? At this point, the next week goes on. Oh, brother, you have a crazy week. Gold spikes up. Gold spikes up to like, let's say 20 all-time highs. You now flip the account from 2K to 5K officially. Oh, brother, the next day goes on. You know what happens? The account's gone. Because you're starting to chase this high of making money. And you at the start of that account, your approach in the markets were quite right in terms of, you're disciplined, waiting for a trade to come to you. Great, amazing. And over time, as you made bigger percentages, you're starting to chase this high, because you've seen the numbers go up pretty quick. And this is tough, right? This is tough for traders, because a lot of traders, when they make huge percentages in months, they would expect the same thing to happen the next day. Bro, I haven't had an 80% month since February, bro. 80% month in February. The next month after, I made 20%. And the month after, 10. The month after, 15, 10, etc. Right? This year, I've never had a month that high ever since that day, ever since that month. Or not in February, my bad. December, right? So that's the approach you kind of want to have. You don't want to base your performance off of last month's performance. That's what a lot of traders do. They base their trades off of the last week's performance. So if now they made 1K to 5K within the first month, bro, there's gonna be a day that comes on, right? That day goes on, all of a sudden the markets aren't moving the way you want it to move. Your psychology starts to fuck with you a little bit, because you're getting a little bit impatient. You're like, okay, I flipped my account from 1K to 5 so quickly. What makes me not want to flip that account from 5K to 10K? You lost your shit. You lost your patience. All of a sudden the market starts to range. You blow your account, or you blow, like, let's say 50% of your account, right? You're like, okay, 50% of my account. All right, what can I do now? You're gonna want to chase it back, because realistically, you're still up on that account. But since you hit a high at 5K, you now want to be back at that high at 5K. It sucks. Yeah, you don't want to be for instance, below your high. You want to be at the high or making more than your actual high, which is 5K in that situation, right? So at this point, you're starting to chase now. You're starting to chase back that 5K. What ends up happening is you blow the entire account. And that's usually what happens. You blow the entire account, And then you take a little break on trading. Wait for a paycheck to come in, wait for whatever money, that funds to come in again for trading. You get those funds, and what happens now is you start to redo the whole entire cycle again. You didn't learn shit because you took a little break. Instead of looking for ways to improve and get better over time, you now took a break and did nothing. But you wait for money because you think that you need money to trade. That's not true. You don't need money to trade. You need money. You need money to trade, but you can build the skill without money, right? So what we do now is you wait for another paycheck. Your paycheck comes. All right, let's go for real this time. Let's go and trade this account for real. I'm serious this time. I'm not gonna lose my patience. Guess what happens? Same thing. Your first 2 weeks, steady growth, amazing growth. You make 2% that week. Done. I made 2% this week. I think I've changed. I think my approach to the charts have changed, and my attachment to money has changed. All right, another 2 weeks goes by. Same shit. You start to make bigger percentages in terms of returns, right? You start to have better weeks, start to make more money. And then like it's just the same cycle that happens all over again. So again, don't be trying to chase money in trading. Instead, chase the skill. That skill lasts forever. The money will change, bro. I'm telling you, you might be making $100 for a month straight or for like a year straight every month. But I'm pretty sure at some point, if you did that for a year straight, making $100, you're going to be making tens and hundreds of thousands eventually over time if you build the skill. But you have to build the skill and not focus on building the money, because building the money is very short-term growth and it doesn't take you anywhere. So that's the journey as a typical trader, I'll say, whenever they were to get a new account and start this refreshment stage. But it's like, it's tough, bro. It's tough. And I see it all the time. Like in my DMs, like every other day I get a DM saying like, yo, Don, I flipped my account. And I always say to them, like, I'm not going to say to them, obviously, I'm going to say, yo, good shit, amazing, keep it up. I'm hoping that they would actually learn and look for ways to get over that. But usually half the time, what end up happening is they take a little break, and then I just know the cycle, bro, and it sucks. But don't let that be you. I'm telling you guys right now in this chat. Don't let that be you. It's not worth the time. It's not worth the money. It's as hard as it seems. It's not worth it. It doesn't take you anywhere. It takes you back to square one at the end of the day. Gamble disease, yeah, I'm Vietnamese too. So if I'm Vietnamese, chat, and gambling is in my blood, I'm telling you right now, it's not worth it. Anyways, we have Elvis there, the man, the myth, the legend.
Yo.
Yeah, what's up?
I've actually been getting a lot of questions on what do you know, like, when we have like setups and entries, you can see setups and entries on like different time frames. You can see different, probabilities for those setups and entries. How do you, I guess, coming from you, right? How do you pick what is the actual setup and entry versus what is, just a slightly worse setup and entry, but still is kind of valid?
Fuck. Yo, can you repeat the last part again? That's like the middle part.
Yeah. So essentially, how when we get into a trade, right?
Yeah.
Some of the times, like it's the perfect setup and entry, right? Some of the other times, some time frames might not align. So how do you know what is like a good quality setup and entry, and what do you know is a bad or like slightly worse quality, right?
Okay, so
I had my own version of the answer. I just want to, because I know a lot of people have the same question, so just getting it out there.
I think your answer is very similar to my answer. Okay,
Probably, yeah.
Give your answer. I want to see if it's right. I want to see if it's the same as mine.
My answer was basically, as long as it lines up with every single time frame that you were looking for, and that it aligns with the bias, aligns with liquidity, aligns with the breakout below after grabbing liquidity, or your general plan. I think that's essentially what's the most important thing. Like if it's, for example, doesn't make sense on the 5, or it doesn't make sense on one time frame, does it make sense on like the overall higher, like the picture, all right, the overall story that price is telling? And if it does, right, for example, if the 4 hour makes sense, but the hour doesn't make sense, right, then is the 4 hour stronger in this case? And all of that, the combinations, you have to kind of understand what it paints as a whole picture.
Yeah.
That was
you have to like understand every angle of that trade and make sure every angle makes sense. Like if there's a minor flaw on a time from, like let's say you enter off, like a simple example is that you close above the range on the 1 hour. In this case, you have a 1 hour breakout. But all of a sudden, that 1 hour breakout, obviously the first thing it does is there's no bottom wick. At that point, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wait for a bottom wick because I need to grab liquidity. And you just can't just stay out. That's it. And another example, maybe is you get a breakout, you get no top wick. Okay, you know what? The 1 hour looks good here. Everything else looks good here, but the 1 hour has no top wick. This is gonna be a problem. I'm gonna get out. Or for instance, let's say the 1 hour closes above the ranges and the 5 starts to print bullish candles up, and all of a sudden you have no top wicks after bottom wicks being formed. Like that might be a minor flaw as well. But every situation is really different. But yeah, like you said, you want to make sure every angle aligns and matches perfectly with what you wanted. And if there's something that doesn't align, you kind of just want to stay out because it's not worth getting into a trade in the first place. It's like, why would you want to take a lower probability trade, right? If you understand that this trade has more potential to play out.
Hopefully that makes sense, chat.
Yeah, that was a good example. That was a good answer by you. Better answer than me.
No, I think it's basically the same answer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone asked a question in the Zoom as well. I'm not sure if you answered it. Hendrik. He said, ever since I started learning the strategy, I feel like I'm hyper marking my ranges and my chart as looks like a mess. Can you talk about what makes a valid range? Thanks. Yeah, that's what he said. So basically how to keep your chart like...
I mean, my first point on that, like if your chart looks really messy, just don't go down all the way to the 5 and mark out every single range, right? Just make sure, like, because a 5 range may be part of a 15 range. A 15 range might be part of a 30 range and an hourly range. So just make sure the levels that you've marked out are levels which price is likely to reject at or make a decision at, and then just go from there. As you continue to trade, you may see like smaller ranges that you could take advantage of, but you know, just focus on the bigger picture and the overall direction.
Oh shit, I left the Zoom by accident.
Oh shit.
Wait, no, I didn't leave the Zoom. I'm still here, but I gotta join the Zoom on this end.
Are you running this on 2 PCs?
Yeah, bro.
Whoa, how?
Is it blurry for you guys on Zoom or no?
No, that's
Nah,
right.
it's fine.
Yeah, I'm running 2 PCs, bro. So basically, I mute my audio here. How do you mute the Zoom audio?
He's trying to have a hedge fund in his room.
Speaker.
What is going on?
There we go. Microphone. Yeah, okay, I'm trying to have you guys. Okay, there we go. I can have you guys on Zoom. Yeah, I gotta pull you guys from a second PC. This is crazy. I don't know how I'm gonna do this every day, but.
So you have to join from your second PC?
Yep.
Okay, I see.
I have two. Yeah, this is not confusing, but that's cool. Anything else we want to go back today, guys? If you guys have any concerns or anything, let me know.
Fit check.
Fit check? I got nothing on today, man.
Man is naked.
Nothing on today.
Boxers and a white tee.
Bosses. Yo, how do I make it so I only see you guys and not the window on Zoom? Like, you know how I have it on my Zoom where it just shows your guys' cameras?
Just shows up. Oh, you pinned probably. You pinned somebody.
Well, the problem now I have is I don't know how to put you guys in the call. So I'm trying to like, so this is my Zoom, right? I'm trying to have the camera be on.
Yeah, so
only.
on top, I think yeah, that. I think you're good now.
No.
I think if you just minimize it, it should become minimize zoom. Like minimize it.
Yeah, an epilepsy.
That is minimized, no?
As in like press like the leftmost button. Like
Not the X.
that one there.
But
Yeah,
now it only
no.
shows this. Unless that's how it looks.
Oh, it's because you're a participant. That's the issue.
Okay, so if I give myself host,
Yeah, I think that's what you need to do.
make myself host. All right. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
Man, it's complex.
yeah.
I don't know how you're gonna do this with 2 computers every single day.
I'm
You'll
losing
get used to it though.
Yeah, I'm losing my shit right now though. Whatever. This is cool. This is cool for now, I guess. Yeah, chat. I think today's a pretty good session. I'll say better than last week. I think this is one of the best sessions I've had on a Sunday sim on Sunday. I'm not done yet, by the way. Just saying it's been pretty good. So let's keep it up. Let's go for maybe another like 15 minutes here, maybe 2:30. I'll hop off and play some Warzone or something.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Don, we now can't see on the Zoom. We can't see the charts.
You see, okay. You see, this is a problem.
Yeah, if you're gonna fix it, I mean, try
I
it
gotta
out
give
now.
myself host again on the other one.
But do you?
Yeah, dude. This
Can you not just join from the other computer and that computer is just watching?
make host? It is, but I can't see the video camera. So I'm the host now, so I gotta share my screen here. 4K capture. There you
So
go.
just one computer should be the one computer that you want to share the cameras should be the host, and the other computer should be a participant.
Okay, hold on. I have 2 keyboards and 2 mouses as well. That's how confusing it is.
Damn, bro.
Yeah. Okay, here, how about this? So I can share my screen here, I think. If I go here, share screen, put it here, you guys see my screen, and then the audio. Oh. How's that work?
Yeah. I mean, we
But
can
now
see
you
it.
can't see the
I think
cameras.
Zoom crashed.
Zoom's alright. Don't think Zoom crashed.
Alright. Oh, I fixed it. There you go. I don't know how I did this.
Nice.
I'll have to be lucky again tomorrow. Alright, cool. I don't know, bro. It's mad confusing, dude.
No, it's because you got 2 Donvos, right? One is the host, which is on the computer that your camera's at, and the other computer is a participant. So they're basically just like us watching the stream.
Okay. It's gonna take a little bit for my brain to process, but I think I got it.
That's right. That's right. You'll get used to it.
Bro made range 1s and range 2s, and he can't.
Do you guys know anything about streaming? Because I'm on 1440p. Like, does YouTube not stream good on 1440p? Because it says you need to change the resolution of the video, but if it's working fine, then what's wrong with it? Like, what's so bad about streaming on 1440p?
I don't know. Maybe lag issues?
Chat, how's it been for you guys so far on 1080p on 1440?
I think I'm only streaming on 1080.
I think it's fine.
I think
Yeah,
it's
I think your
fine
live
too,
is
to be honest.
Yeah, it looks okay.
Because you can select both. Like, you can select like for us, you can select the 1440 or you can select the 1080. So you've got both options.
Interesting. Okay.
That's fine.
Why is Zoom keep crashing? Weird. All right. Anyways, I don't see any issues. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know you're a tech guy, that guy. I know you be doing all this stuff, so I'm gonna have to hit you up afterwards. Not gonna lie to you. It's been a struggle. All right. Anyways, guys, anything else, chat? Anything else you guys want me to get over today? Let me know.
I think there was a pretty standard question. When news or when price breaks 2 major levels, how do you know if price still needs liquidity to continue its drive, or if the direction for the day is already set?
Yeah, so I think I'll use Friday's example, because Friday's example, I think we were looking for sells that day, but before we were looking for sells that day, I think we were also looking for liquidity grabbed, right? Because this is Friday. We were looking somewhat like this. And off of what I noticed, I was kind of expecting the 4-hour candle to, before making the move down, to at least do something like this, where it comes up, creates a, oh my bad, it creates a top wick here before coming down. Like some, because if I'm looking at the ranges, right, and this is how things are looking, and this is how you looked, I understand that. Okay, you have to ask yourself, if price were to drive down, how far would it drive down? Where's your next target? In this case, your next target is 2016.235, right? So if I'm expecting price to drive down towards 2016, that's going to require a lot of liquidity. Therefore, you might need a steeper top wick. So what I'll do here is I'll have this up as my resistance sitting right around here, and I'll have that as my support sitting right around here. This is the range I'm in. So if I'm expecting price to drive down towards the bottom of the ranges, I would say, okay, cool. Can you grab a top wick up here first, right? And that's why we were looking for a top wick. Now, since there's news here, we understood that, okay, news obviously could just take tentacles out the window, because, you know, it can just not form that at any given point. So what happened with news was, I think you came down first off the rip. So at that point, I'm like, okay, well, at this point, you know, you're coming down. So could this push down right now mean that we grab liquidity down to go back up to the upside? Or could this liquidity down mean that we're going to continue to push down for the rest of the day? So what, instead of taking the sells off the rip or taking buys off the rip, I didn't wait to see how the candles would close up. So typically with news though, as you re-break the highs or re-break the lows, you continue to drive, right? And I think that's what happened off the initial candle. But since I'm on trade news, I had to wait for closures. In this case, you then started close bullish, respecting support, and we had ideas to take buys up to the top of the ranges. But typically with news though, yeah, like if you were to come out like positive, for instance, for gold, and gold were to drive down, typically as you re-break the lows, that would be an indication. Because like news, what would do is it'll spike down like this, right? And then it'll hover up a little bit, pull back, and then it'll just re-break the lows. As it re-breaks the lows, that might be a wick fill on the 1 minute time frame, that might be a wick fill on the 5 minute time frame, right? But as it re-breaks the lows, that will be a continuation for us to drive down towards the next range. In this situation again on Friday, we could then close, I think, respecting the 15-minute zone I had marked up at 2022. So we took buys up to the wick fill instead of taking the sells down. But yeah, with news, like usually I would assume that we'll get top wicks, but in some cases numbers might come out a certain way that will push price a certain way, and therefore it won't line up exactly the way I want it to form. And that's when we gotta adapt to the charts. So then we'll wait for like maybe the re-break of lows or closures below the ranges, etc., to take positions. And I think in this case, I think people took positions once like the candle started close below the ranges, like below like 2018 or 2006 on Friday. The sells. Was that the right answer? Or did I go off
Yeah,
topic?
I think that's
it,
probably
right?
yeah.
Yeah, news is a bit tricky. News, don't get it wrong. Like, you don't need to be an expert in news. You can just wait to see how price adapts to the markets, because numbers, you guys can try to notice this, but sometimes they come out positive and gold might just still drive up from the dollar, right? It doesn't make any sense, but that's what might happen. So it comes down to how the market reacts to the numbers, not really how numbers come out. And that's why I wait for numbers to come out, wait to see how market reacts, and hop on the wave after the counts print the way I want things to be printed. But yeah, it's up to you guys. Like, if you want to trade news, go ahead and trade news. I know people who take buy stops and sell stops, but for me, it's just things that I can't control, and I don't want to be in a position where I can't control my trades like that. It's just so volatile. If I'm already in a trade, then I guess I'm already in. I don't really plan on getting out, because I assume that trade news would bring volume, and that's something that's guaranteed every day. With numbers, when numbers come out, there's a guarantee of volume. There's just not a guarantee of direction. Without shin guards, yeah, bro. And news wears steel toe boots, yeah, bro. News will kick you in the shin guards for sure. With no shin pads on soccer, the cleats. I mean football. Farzo is back. What up? Where's the green today though? What year did I start trading? I started trading in 2018 December, so it's officially 5 years for me. and I went full-time October 2019, so maybe 10 months afterwards. Don't try to compare your journey with my journey though, because I don't want you to apply pressure to be profitable within 10 months because I did that in 10 months, right? It might take longer, might be quicker, depending on your learning curve. But if you're here though, I will say you're on the right path. But there's a slight chance that you might leave us because you found a flashy strategy on Instagram. You might go there and then come back to us. Slight chance. It's either you find us after going through it all, or you found us first and then go through something else and come back to us. Typically, that's what would happen with the audience that we have on stream, at least from what I noticed.
I think people leave because they want to get easy money. So they like follow these gurus who like flip accounts. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we're going to do a 50% risk trade here, flip 100, 200, 200, 400 and whatever. And then they try that themselves. They lose a bunch of money. And then they come back. They're like, okay, I realize you can't make money really easily. And then they're
Yeah.
going to start from the beginning. And then they actually start to learn.
That's what I'm always afraid of. Like the ones who come here first and like, this is the first strategy I found. Like I have a feeling that you may not be here for a long time, or you might be here for a long time, but you might come back after some time.
This was the first one I found.
Oh, for real? Okay, well.
Yeah, I just stuck with it, bro.
I
Because
guess
that's what,
he's new.
yeah, that's what you do on live. Like no one can say anything. You know what I mean? I was just like, right.
By the time like you stay here because you want to follow the strategy, it's just like there's things that helps you evolve your own strategy too. Like I'm sure you trade a little different from how I trade, right? Like we don't all trade the same here. We trade in terms of mentality as a trader. We have the same mentality though.
I say it's like a sport because, like, for example, Ronaldo can teach you how to do a free kick. It doesn't mean you're gonna do exactly the same as him in the game scenario.
Yeah, you
That's
might
different,
fucking do
yeah.
a free kick like Beckham,
Yeah.
run like Ronaldo, free kick like Beckham. Shit, something like Messi. I don't know my soccer. Fucking, what's it called? Deeks? Is it Deeks? No, what's it called in soccer or football? When you deke a goalie or when you deke a player.
What?
Deke.
Like deke in hockey means you're doing tricks. Like dekes, like you're doing tricks around the player. Like you flip the puck around him or some shit. Dribble.
Just dribbling, yeah.
Dribble. You dribble around the player. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was called deking for some reason.
Nah, bro.
Deking is nuts. What is that word?
Dude,
He
I got-
dekes on Warzone.
I gotta show you guys real quick.
Some hockey.
Yeah, you'd be
Is
impressed.
it insane?
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually deeks and dangles.
Yeah. It's like look at this guy. Woo.
Is it lagging for you?
Man,
Bas?
that's crazy.
It's lagging.
I'm just
I
watching
can't see
YouTube.
shit.
as well.
Could just be me.
Like this guy broke some
That
guy's
was
ankles. He went like,
humiliating.
whoop. Man fell.
Oh, I broke his ankles.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's insane. Like this is what deking is.
Yeah, dribbling.
Fucking
Oh,
dirty dangles,
that's
boys.
dirty.
Dirty dangles, boys.
Fucking dirty dangles, bud.
I mean, that is pretty nuts, to be fair.
It's
The amount
hard,
of
bro.
coordination you need to be on ice to do that.
Oh my. Oh, you missed. Yeah, but I can watch this for days, but I love hockey, bro. Ever since a kid, so I don't know, bro. No one likes hockey because it's not that popular of a sport, but I don't know why, bro. Speaking about hockey, I got a
Canada's
game
pretty
later.
important. Oh, you got a game later? Nice.
Yeah, I got a game at 6 p.m. later, so about to score a hat trick.
What position do you play?
I play right wing or left wing, so I'm like a
okay.
forward. I just be cherry picking and then hoping for the puck on a breakaway, and then just be skating down and balling.
Do you
Deking.
get really aggressive?
Yeah.
I can't imagine you getting in a fight.
He gets people in headlocks and chucks them out.
I would love to just vlog it. I just don't know how. I'm trying to attach a camera to my head or something. Like that'd be sick if I vlog a hockey game, like live.
Just stream it.
Yeah, like, stream it. Literally stream it. It'll be so
That'd be
cool.
sick, yeah.
I'm battling with psychology. Okay, well, if you're battling with psychology, I can guarantee you that part of the reason why you're dealing with psychology is because you need more experience on the charts. And more experience means more sample sizing and more back testing and more forward testing. I can guarantee you that's what it is. It's not really psychology. It's more so because you don't have enough confidence in your trades yet. yes, I guess that could be a psychology, but a way to improve that is by sample sizing the charts and forward testing a lot more, so you have more data, so that way you'll be a lot more confident in your trades, right? That's what I'll say it comes down to.
If anybody's struggling with psychology as well, feel free to tune in to the weekly open stream later that I'm doing.
Oh, yes.
It's a Psychology Sunday special.
Mm.
I'm changing all Sundays to Psychology Sundays.
Oh, and then have a different topic for each day of the week. You can do that because you don't take trades. That is not a bad idea.
So I basically just do that. But yeah, Sundays are more for psychology.
Are you ever gonna put your face behind the evolution DVS? Oh, and everyone knows.
Yeah, it's just probably when I move into my new flat.
I say you change the display picture off the rip. You have a lot more viewers that come in to your face.
Oh yeah, no, I put thumbnails now everywhere.
Yeah, nice.
I literally just created 5 thumbnails. I have one for each day.
Oh, nice.
And then I have like the whole overlays and everything now. So we good. I finally had time to do that.
If you were to retake Thursday's trade, would you still ignore the 35 minor resistance? Yes, because you had no top wick, right? And that was my idea behind the trade. The idea was that you had no top wick, so I believe that before you do anything else, you must make a top wick first before ripping down. And realistically, that did happen, right? It just took a long time to happen. It came down first, then it happened. But the idea was that like you had so much range to drive down here towards the next area of support, which was like 1988, whatever the case may be here, right here, for instance. So you had all that range to drive down. I believe that you need to grab liquidity first before coming down. And that's why I guess it happened. It just happened after you pushed down first, but I think we're still in this range here, so it's still valid for that to happen. And then you grabbed the top wick and then you drove down, right? So the ideal is still valid. It just took a longer time to play out. It wasn't the most ideal drawdown too, but what could I do, you know? I can only go off of what I know, not what I think. Yo, peace out, D. Take it easy, man. See you tomorrow. Yeah, see you in the morning. What liquidity sweeps are? I'm not too familiar with liquidity sweeps. That's not part of my strategy or the way I trade. I'm pretty sure it is in a way, but we don't identify it as liquidity sweeps. We would probably identify it as form resistance. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'm pretty sure. I'm assuming off of what I know, because I think all strategies are the same realistically. Liquidity sweep will be up here for you at 49, because that's where you need liquidity to grab that to drop down towards the next area. And that would be your liquidity sweep, right? I don't know, but that's I'm assuming it's all the same shit. Now that a strategy works, you find the consistency for months or a year. Shall you increase your positions size first or try to catch more pips if you want to go to the next level? I don't think going to the next level requires you to catch more pips or to up your lot size. It's just being more consistent in your strategy. If anything, just brings more confidence in your trades, and therefore you have a much better skill to build off of. But I don't think of pips or the money I made, and that results in my, for instance, my improvement. I think it more so comes down to the skill I develop that makes that difference. Like, it's not about like, okay, I caught so and so amount of pips this year. That makes me a better trader for the year. It's more so just like, I guess like yeah, but at the same time it's just also my win rate too. Like if that goes up, sure, I can identify that as my success rate has gone up as a trader as well. But in terms of going to the next level, I'm not looking to go to the next level just like that. Like what does that mean, right? For me, the next level for me is like I think this year we focused a lot more trading on the 5-minute time frame and also adjusting to the most optimal stops, right? And that's why the stops got a little bigger, but that was my focus for the year. Now over time, as I focus on these little tweaks long term, that's what takes them to the next level. But I wouldn't say next level just means I caught X amount of pips this year and I caught more X than last year. I don't think that's what the next level for me is. It's more so just like, what's my focus for that year in terms of improvement. Like next year, I'm looking to see if I could have a better stops, and now that could be greater than what it is right now. That could be lower, but or it might even remove my stops and manage it off of account closures. And that might be something that I might look forward to. But this year, the focus was just the 5-minute time frames. I'll say, understand liquidity and understanding the stops and how optimal they were, where they were. I think that's it, bro. What's Elvis' channel? It is gonna be, what do you call it? Evolution DVS.
Yeah.
Evolution DVS, right after me, and then Wix9 does a session tonight. I think he does a private one tonight though, so it's not public. And then you have Kieran for London. I'm not sure if he's on today. I think he's on tonight though, right? On Sunday. And then you have Janez, and then you have for London, and then you have Huss for pre-New York session, and then you have me for New York session. So you're covered all sessions, and you could, you know, if you're not able to make the New York session, at least now you have other sessions to watch, and vice versa. Which I'll say we all trade similar in a way, so that's a W as well. Oh man,
I'm tired.
yeah, man, that's a good session. Spoke a lot.
For sure.
Spoke too much.
Yeah, you've been on for a while.
Yeah, I've
What
been
was
on,
our time?
well, realistically, I've been on for an hour and a half because my stream started late
Okay.
because I was dealing with some problems. But anyways, guys, I think that's it for the session. I think we can call it a day and move on to trading in real life this week again. I'm excited to see what the market show this week. Let me do a quick little breakdown maybe, or you know what, I'll say that for your session. I'll do a breakdown tomorrow. But it is looking like it's gonna be a week of, will we create a top wick or will we continue to drive down off the rip? Yeah. I think that's what it's a week of. But looking at the weekly closure, it is, or day closure, it is looking quite promising today, I'll say. And you do got range coming down towards 1984. So
I hope we gap up and then
yes, I'll prefer a gap up and not gap down.
Yeah. Depends on where we gap up to. If it gaps up to like, I don't know, 2050, perfect.
Yep. 2050? Holy.
2042, 2050. Yeah, those sorts of
I don't know
areas.
about a gap. Oh man, that's a gap up? Actually, you might be, maybe.
I don't think it'll gap that far, but
Oh,
who
that's
knows, man?
massive.
If it can drive that far, like Monday, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday start to drive down, you have a pretty straightforward week. But the weekly closure is a strong bearish weekly, man. Like that is a nice weekly closure.
Back in the range.
Yeah, like every time, literally every single time it closed back into the range here. This thing just filled every time.
You might get some swings towards 2040. As in like to sell down.
If you get a top wick, I'm swinging it for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the next cycle.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't close bullish last week though, because if that were to happen, it would have been very tough.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Thing is, I think last Thursday, I was like doing a breakdown and I was like, okay, any given point, the monthly, this is just a bottom wick and it just continues driving up. But
yes, that could still happen too. But with the weekly closing,
nuts.
second week, and you have no volume on the 24th and then the 1st of January, chances are you're going to take it down for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Should be a good end to 2023.
Yep. I have a busy week though. I got to record all my course content and then upload all of that by the end of the week.
Oh yeah, you're taking a break starting the 22nd, right?
Yeah, 22nd to the 2nd of January.
Okay. I'm taking a break 18th to 8th of Jan. I think Christmas, everybody's just on holiday. Haas, are you taking a break over Christmas?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Yo, I want to get over this question real quick. I feel like this is an important question and a good way to end it off. But yeah, but we are talking about small account size. Sometimes you must have a trade 1 lot or 5 lot before 30. Yeah, you need to build the lot size up. I didn't go from 30 lot off the rip. I went from a 5 lot I literally traded a 3 lot to 5 lot in 2020. 2021, I traded a 5 and 10. 2022, I traded a 10 and 20 lot, or a 20 lot. And in 2023, I traded a 30 lot. And next year, I will be keeping the same 30 lot as well. But every year, I change my lot size once. And that, I'm assuming, because the account grows over time, right? So as your account grows, you gain more capital. The more money you have to deal with, the more lot size you can probably have in your trades. But in terms of percentages, again, it's all the same shit. Right now, I'm copy trading all my trades over to a $1,000 account. It's currently sitting at 1.5K in the last month and 10 days. So it's up $500, up 50%, I'll say, in 60 days, which is pretty high, to be honest. But I've also used a 0.10 lot, and I'll be keeping using that lot until I hit like probably 10K or 5K in that account or something. But yeah, man, it's all the same shit. Don't focus on the lot sizes, focus on building the skill. The lot sizes will follow, just like the money will follow along, man. I'm sure you'll get to where you want to be, but you have to focus on the right things to get to where you want to be. All right, yo, chat. I think that's it. Yo, are you guys hopping on Warzone?
Yeah.
You streaming it?
Yeah, I am. I streamed it yesterday. It was 250 FPS.
Whoa, oh, yeah,
Damn.
definitely. I'm definitely watching if you're streaming.
Yeah, me, Kieran, and Cam are on as well. So.
I just need some background noise while I work.
All right, yo. Sounds good.
Yeah, me and Cam are already in a party. Join up.
All right, bet. I'll be on in like 5 minutes. Literally 5 minutes this time. All right, yo.
We'll see.
Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
Hope you guys had a good call. Peace out, Zoom. We'll see you guys
W
tomorrow.
stream.
Yes.
I've seen a few.
All right, YouTube. That's it for me, bro. Chat. I appreciate you guys being here today, yo. If you guys enjoyed the stream, leave a like and sub to the channel. Thanks for being part of the amazing stream, asking the right good questions. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern as we go live for a new session. And yeah, let's have a good week, man. Let's have a good week. Let's have the same approach. Not lose focus of what we are or what we've been doing, which is following the plan, sticking to our rules, sticking to our playbook, and the rest will follow along. And yeah, bro, let's go into the week and crush the discipline. And yeah, man, have a good day, chat. Hope you guys got a lot from this session and you guys took a lot of notes. I'm sure the replay will be up. If it's not up, I have the recording anyways. But I think it's a good webinar that I could upload later down the road anyways. So yeah, chat, peace out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys for next week's webinar, and obviously I'll see you guys for tomorrow's training session. All right, peace out. Love you guys. Be easy.
Mister, I might start a riot. Opposite of quiet.
Yeah, I'll be starting a new stream up for Warzone.
Nigga tired. How about you try it? Try it. Hey, try it. I might start a riot. Opposite of quiet. Pussy nigga tired. How about you try it? I don't buy it. I just call designers up. I free 99 it. Called your baby mama up. Yep, I 99 it. I just bought designer cameras. Yeah, Roddy piping. I just put some BBs on my whip with lime green piping. My wife is erotic, I'm smoking exotic. My whip is exotic, my crib is a cottage. A whole lot of cheesy, we getting that cottage. A whole lot of brains, I skipped out in college. They think I'm living at large, wow. That little nigga living too large. All my niggas do is play the ball. You little niggas too afraid to ball. Why you gotta get the pigs involved? I'm way more deadly with my pen involved. Business suit, sweet, I'm in charge. Or take a suits on the business call. Kill these niggas, I don't kill them soft. You finna die, no in the Ross. Bought a Rolls Royce in the Porsche. Buy the building, nigga, in the Porsche. If you scared, better get a dog. Pussy nigga, that's your menopause. I'ma start a riot.
No, we have no strikes. These don't cause strikes. These cause just upright. So I just lose money on it, but no strikes.
I just bought designer kicks, yeah, Roddy piping. I just put some BBs on my whip with lime green the Hummer Evie, GMCC collab, 2020 3D. My belt not no BB. Simon says VS and VV. Rag on my head like Habibi. Canary, my songs look like Tweety. Pass on the sweetie, I got me a Riri. Blue magic, she sniffing that. I dream a genie. I'm designer the finest. I play that Ben Fries to see if she freaky. I'm a ball hard. Why they say he got the rental cost? Flossing hard, this ain't dental floss. Flossy, glossy. Nah, bitch, this ain't lip gloss. Lux bomb up in my palm. New collab with my baby mom. I'ma start a riot. I was single quiet.
Oh, we learn.
Pussy nigga tired. How about you try it?